Where do we go from here? This is a question that I feel myself asking so often in these days when life just feels more complicated than it did even a year ago. It has surely been a difficult year. It's been a hard year physically for so many, spiritually, emotionally, as we see mental health needs skyrocket across our country. It's been a hard year financially for so many of us. When I am in these places of wondering how we find a way forward, I am reminded again and again of those who have come before us, who have navigated real complexity and struggle and hardship to find deeper ways of connection to one another, to God, and to find paths forward for creativity and healing. I often hold this quote by Reinhold Niebuhr that you may have heard. Nothing that is worth doing can be achieved in our lifetime. Therefore, we must be saved by hope. Nothing which is true or beautiful or good makes complete sense in any immediate context of history. Therefore, we must be saved by faith. Nothing we do, however virtuous, can be accomplished alone. Therefore, we must be saved by love. No virtuous act is quite as virtuous from the standpoint of our friend or foe as it is from our standpoint. Therefore, we must be saved by the final form of love, which is forgiveness. In this time, I think that we have been broken open. So many of us have been broken open personally. We have seen our systems strained as our congregations have not been able to gather in person, as our healthcare systems have been pushed to the limits, as our political systems have faced things that we have never faced before. We have been broken open. Again, back to my favorite Parker Palmer. Parker Palmer talks about how the heart can break, that our heart can be broken open and can turn into shrapnel and to spread fear and pain and hurt and harm out of a broken heart. Or our heart can be broken open, can soften, can release some of that suffering and open us to vulnerable ways of living together. That is how I hope that we are being broken in this time. I hope that we are being broken open in ways that make us vulnerable to one another, that help us see each other's pain, to see each other more fully. Because the truth is that we are all in this together. This pandemic and this virus has shown us that we are connected from Colorado to Utah to Wyoming to Nebraska to the Philippines to China to South Africa. We are all connected. What impacts one impacts all. In this time, as we are reminded that we are connected, I hope that we can find it in ourselves to let go of some of these notions of certitude and knowing, of this individual power and will, so often power over others, that we can let go of those ways so that we might find resilience and connection and creativity. Too many of our old ways, which were present before and are still present, racism, individualism, mass hyper consumption, economic inequality, busyness, and isolation, these ways have been killing us. May this be an opportunity to be broken open to some of those ways and to rethink how we live in relationship to one another, how we live in relationship to the earth, how we care for one another. We have been reminded in these days that we're in this together. May we remember who we are at the deepest level, children of God, loved, created, beautiful, worthy, here, connected to one another. May we remember our deepest call to love one another, to continually ask, what does that mean? How do you want to be loved? What does it look like and feel like to be loved? And how do I move into those spaces more clearly? How do we cultivate curiosity to continue to ask those questions? What does it look like to love one another in this space, place, and time? And may we be vulnerable to one another. May we be honest and open and share our concerns and our questions and our deepest need with one another. Because my experience is that when we do that, when we let go of all that we are holding on to so tightly and open ourselves to one another, that is actually when we experience deeper strength and curiosity and cultivate creativity and resilience together. In this time, we know that we are in it for the long haul, and that if we are to find paths forward, we will only find them together.